Hey everyone, we are live, rocking and living, and yeah, let's get started. So as I just hit the go live button inside Webinar Jam, I'd love to hear from all of you. You can actually hear and see me, so we can actually kick things off. And as you can tell, I am super pumped, super energized to share this story with all of you, which is obviously all about how to avoid Facebook's ban hammer and how to win your account back if you do get hit. So let me just look at the chat to see if people are joining. I see people are joining. Just so you know, there is a slight delay between me talking and actually you guys and girls receiving it. So if I sometimes wait for the chat, but I see people joining: Christoph, Giovanni, John, Dirk, Timothy, Jake, Rise, like Jay, Matty, Jana. It's going really, really fast, but people are joining, which is amazing. And as you probably already know, I don't like to waste time. So let's just get right in. And I hope everyone is joining in. Yes, I see a message. The light is hitting the screen, but I'm going to fix that because we're going to switch to my screen. Let's get started, all right? All right. So as you know, today we're going to talk about how to avoid Facebook's ban hammer and how to win your account back if you do get hit. So my goal for today is for all of you to stop worrying about losing your ad account by knowing how to prevent it or get it back. Because I'm not sure if you guys or girls can relate, but like, you have no idea how often I woke up looking at my phone. First thing I did, browsing through all of my emails, seeing, is there an email from Facebook saying my ad account is disabled? Like, I don't know why, but just in the back of my mind, I've always been afraid of that. And that's what what my mission was for myself, to stop worrying about. And that's what I want to do for all of you today here as well. Now, just so you know, who is this guy with this funny Dutch accent talking on the other end of the line? Well, my name is, as I hope you already know, my name is Wilco de Kreij. Just for those who are new here on this training, started selling back in 2002. I've been a full-time online entrepreneur for over 10 years now. I run multiple multi-million-dollar businesses, as you know, Viral and Connectio. Love to travel, and as of recently, I'm actually a father of a beautiful baby girl as well, 5 months old now. Upcoming Sunday, actually, to be exact. And if you Google me, you'll probably find some articles here and there. For example, on entrepreneur.com, who referred to me as one of their 4 Facebook ad experts. So that's sort of like who I am, but I would say that's actually not as important. What's probably more relevant is like what I've actually done. And one of the things I've been doing is I've helped over 20,000 clients get a higher return of investment, or ROAS, as I like to say, from their Facebook ads. People like Ben Atkins, Scott Alford, Nicholas Kuchman, Mike Fossane, Mike Dillard, and many more. And the question is like, why am I such a big fan of Facebook ads? Like, why do I run a lot of ads myself? Why do I help others to help with their ads? Because to be completely honest, it actually restored my faith in paid advertising. I've been trying out various paid ad platforms like Twitter ads, LinkedIn ads, Google ads as well. And when I started running Facebook ads, that was the first time that it really hit home to me, that I actually got it to work, got it to become profitable. And now what I now know to be true is like, the reason why you need to run Facebook ads to grow your business is because, besides that pretty much everyone is on Facebook, it's also the most scalable, it's consistent, it's predictable, and you can turn it off and on at will, and you're in control, which, you know, goes hand in hand with if you're actually running ads. You can start running ads today, you can turn it off today when you want, immediately, like you can get traffic. And it's actually really a lot of fun. Like once you get to the point where like every time you put $1 into your Facebook ads, you get $2 or $3 back out, it is really a lot of fun, right? And I personally don't like to brag or like share numbers at all, but just to like at least show you guys and girls that I'm not full of beep, but that actually do what it actually takes. Like, this is one of my ad accounts. As you can see, I spent just over $1 million in euros there, got back around 2 million, not even including the recurring, which actually the main part of those campaigns. This is another account. This one is in US dollars, spent just over 800,000 and made back 1.7 million, again, excluding the recurring, right? So just to show you that I'm not full of beep. And this is, by the way, my own ad accounts, not for clients or anything like that. Like, this is all my own money. So as you probably already know, Dutch people, we don't like to waste money. So I make sure that whatever we do, it actually works. And I also I love helping others to get a higher ROI and increase their profit. Like, we do this using our tools and our trading. For example, this guy right here, holy smokes, bought it yesterday. This thing is kicking ass, my best asset. I'm impressed. This guy got a 168% pure profit by what we shared with him. Like, there's many others as well. But all of that, even that, doesn't matter, because none of my strategies that I've shared here, anywhere else, none of it matters if Facebook disables your ad account, right? Yes, Facebook is awesome. There's huge potential, huge opportunity. If you're not running ads, you should. But at the moment your Facebook disables your ad account, none of it really matters. So the first question I'd like to hear from all of you and guys and girls is, I'm actually curious whether Facebook ever disabled an ad account that you had. Like, type in disabled if they did, and type afraid if you're afraid they might. And just so you know, I am a typical guy, and that means all the girls probably can laugh. That means that I am the worst multitasker. So I see a lot of stuff going in the chat, a lot of things going in the chat going on. I got someone from my team there as well, and later on I'll try to go through all the questions as well. But as you can imagine, it's hard to keep up at the moment. So from now I'll keep it going. But I see a lot of people saying disabled, disabled, disabled. Some people are scared as well, and some people say like not as scared. Well, yeah, you actually should be scared. Like, I literally the other day I looked on Facebook for just a couple of minutes, and I saw so many people who lost their ad accounts. Like, so many people. The first guy on the top left, he said like had 11 disabled ad accounts. Like, boom, like it's crazy, right? And actually, funnily enough, last Monday when I sent the first email out to this training, like letting you all know I was organizing this training, right after I got tagged on Facebook from this one. I actually blurred out the name for privacy reasons, but he literally, like, let's see, how many minutes was that? 4 minutes after I sent him the email, he got an email from Facebook telling him like, hey, your ad account is disabled. Now, that's obviously not fun, it's not good, but it was like definitely a coincidence. But it just shows that, you know, this can happen to anyone. Like, even if your ad account hasn't been disabled yet, it can literally happen to anyone. And unfortunately, I experienced that myself as well, right? So the first time this actually happened, it's quite a while back, but like, unfortunately, more accounts get disabled every day, even when you follow all the rules. That's the crazy part, because I like, if someone breaks the rules, like, sure, like, get their ad account disabled. I have zero problems with that. Like, if someone doesn't comply with the rules that Facebook says there are, like, sure, no problem. But even if you actually do follow the rules, you can still get disabled. So when someone says like, oh, well, actually, like, I don't think it's going to happen to me, I think they probably haven't been around long enough, right? And as I mentioned, the first time this happened to me was back in 2017, actually. And when I got that email from Facebook, as you can see, this is still in their older layout, I was devastated. Like, I got the email, and again, this was in the morning, because I checked my email in like first thing in the morning. I'm not sure if that's a smart thing or not, but I checked my email first thing in the morning, and I got that email from Facebook saying like, hey, your ad account has been disabled. And I was completely devastated for two reasons. Because first of all, I was relying on Facebook ads to, you know, get new clients for my own business. But as all of you are aware, I'm also the founder of Connectio, where we share strategies with others, right? So how can I be the, you know, how can I know what's working best in Facebook if I wouldn't have my own Facebook ads? Like, that would not be possible. So I was completely in a very bad position. Let's put it nicely. So basically, I had two options, right? You could either roll over and die, kind of like just accept that the ad account got disabled, or I could figure a way out. And obviously, I did the latter. So that's what I did. I started researching everything there is under the sun, why ad accounts get disabled, and how to get them reinstated. Like, everyone who wrote about it, if someone shared it on Facebook, everything, right? And thankfully, after that, and after implementing some of those lessons, I did get the ad account back. But obviously, that was a couple of years ago. A lot of things have changed. But I knew that that wasn't a risk I could afford to take, right? Because it's not just me now. It's like, I got a team of over 30 people working at a viral and Connectio. Like, I cannot afford to lose my Facebook ad account, right? It's just not acceptable. So I figured out, like, how do I prevent that from happening? And one of the things I did is I created internal guidelines and SOPs to protect our ad accounts and win them back faster if something would go wrong. So that if something would go wrong, we know exactly, right, this is what we need to do, right? Execute right now, and in a way that's as optimal as possible to actually get our ad account back, right? And every time I learned something new or I saw something new, I improved our guidelines, right? Putting us in a better position. And over the years, like, every single time, these guidelines became better and better, right? And so far, I kept this to myself, right? But then recently, something happened, because like, I got in touch with someone from inside Facebook, right? And they work at this team that actually helps decide, you know, who gets approved, disapproved, and all that. And that person shared things that I never even thought about would have an impact on whether my ad account would get disabled or not. Like I never even considered it, right? And I haven't seen anyone else talk about it. So even though so far I kept everything I discovered to myself, but now I realized with what I heard from the insider is that many ad accounts are at risk without realizing it, because it doesn't even matter if you're actually breaking the rules, right? There's still things that can trigger your account to be flagged as a potential risk. And that is why I'm doing this training for you today, to make sure that you know what that is, and you can actually take action on it to make sure your ad account is in a much safer place, or win your account back if it already been banned, right? So at the end of this training, I'll even show some of the screenshots from Facebook's internal systems that I got from that person. That's also the reason I appreciate you all being here with me. That's what I'm going to do today. Now, obviously, a quick disclaimer that it's always important to realize as well. The only certain thing in life is uncertainty. In other words, what I'm about to share with you today will drastically increase the odds of you keeping your account enabled and winning it back if it's already been disabled. But only Mark Zuckerberg could actually make actual guarantees in that, right? There's no way I can tell, like, hey, you just do this, and you'll get a 100% certainty that you get your account back, because every situation, every account is different. But I can promise you that you'll have a much better, much higher likelihood of actually getting it back, right? So who's this for? This training is for everyone who advertises or plans to advertise on Facebook, right? Specifically for those who run a legit business, for those that follow and respect Facebook's terms of service. Because again, if you are just someone who tries to, like, I don't know, do spammy stuff or like something that's completely against the rules, then this training is not for you. So if you're into black hat or shady stuff, or you just don't care about your customers, then this is not for you, right? This is for legit businesses only, right? So my question to all of you is, are you committed? Are you committed to take action, do whatever it is what's inside your control to immediately put your ad account in a much better shape and drastically increase the odds of winning it back if you already lost it? Say yes if you are committed, and then we can get started, right? So what we're going to talk about today is how to avoid Facebook's ban hammer and how to win your account back if you do get hit. And we're going to do this in 3 parts. First of all, we're going to go into how to get on Facebook's good side and why that's more important than you think. Secondly, we're going to talk about how to protect your accounts from being disabled. And thirdly, how to get your account back using the #1 factor according to a Facebook insider. All right, sounds good? So how to get on Facebook good side, and why that's more important than you think. So for a long time, I personally believed if I just follow the terms and conditions, I'll be fine. This is even before, you know, my ad account got flagged in 2017. If I just follow the rules, no problem. I'll just do whatever it says, right? And unfortunately, that didn't appear to be true. Like, and even if you look inside Facebook's policies, they show you, like, they're just checking your ads and landing pages, right? But they actually take into account a lot more. Even if all your ads and landing pages are compliant, you can still be in trouble. And to understand that, there's a couple of things that are good to understand before you even go in the nitty-gritty, right? First of all, Facebook has over 7 million active advertisers, right? And this means 2 things. First of all, we're not as important as we'd like to be, right? We're just one of 7 million, right? So they have no problem to disabling your account. But also, there's no way to do it for them to do it manually, right? They need to use algorithms to do everything. That's one thing that's good to remember. I'll get back to that in a second, in a little bit. Secondly, it's not black or white. It's not like, hey, your account is good and active, and then when you make a mistake, when you create a wrong ad, all of a sudden you go from like having a good ad account to like a disabled ad account. It's not black and white, right? Instead, it's more like a scale, right? It's like there's a bunch of stuff underneath the surface that you have no idea that's happening, and you might be very close of like that tipping point where your ad account gets disabled. Like it depends. Like, and even if your ad account gets disabled, how far off is that scale in order to get it back? It's really like a linear process. And recently, as I mentioned, I've been in touch with someone on the inside who opened up on how things really work. And here are some quotes from that person. So one of the things he said, like, Facebook's policy enforcement is a major piece of the organization. It consists of a multi-million-dollar solution designed to identify violators and even potential violators. Now, why is that important? Potential violators. They have an algorithm trying to locate people who they haven't even broke any of the rules yet, but who they believe might break the rules potential violators, right? Even before you actually break the rules, right? And he also said the engine depends on artificial intelligence to configure the data into a risk and reputation score that predicts the risk associated with each persona, right? And that risk score is the basis for everything. So every business manager, every account has a risk score attached. So inside Facebook, they can see exactly what's the risk score of this person. How risky is this ad account, right? And the higher your risk score, the more likely that you'll get your account banned and less likely that you can win your account back if it does get banned, right? But the lower your risk score, the better your reputation. And so you're less likely to get banned, right? And so far, you might think, well, so there's a risk score and that indicates how good or bad my account is. So what, Wilco? As long as my ad account is active, I'm good, right? Well, no, because there's many factors that you haven't considered yet that you probably haven't considered yet that are likely hurting your risk score. And again, the risk score is the basis of everything. Like your account might have a high risk score, and that's why if you make one silly mistake, your ad account is disabled. While someone else might have a very low risk score and they can, they won't get banned as easily, right? So not only does, but secondly, not only does that put your account at risk, it also hurts active accounts, right? So even before your ad account is disabled, it can actually have an impact on your ads, right? Because as I quote as well, before disabling an account, there are other ways an ad account will be affected, like increased ad costs. In other words, higher CPM. And I checked this in my own account. So one of my accounts got disabled a while back. And yes, I now know how to get it back and what happened. But I went to check the stats, the period before that, right? And the period before that we got disabled, the CPM, cost per 1,000 impressions, was 47% higher than what it used to be before. In other words, I paid almost a 50% premium because my ad account was apparently a high risk, right? They make you pay more if you're in high risk, right? And this is not something new. This is something that a lot of people actually already know. Like, here's some screenshots that I found on Facebook. For example, the first one, someone saying that the CPM skyrocketed because they got her page reported, right? The other person said like, hey, my CPM to skyrocket because of his page score as well. Like, it's known. People like Facebook has done this for a while. Like, if you have some like bad score somewhere, you will actually pay extra, right? So even if your account isn't disabled yet, you might be paying more, make it harder for Facebook to actually work, all right? How to get on Facebook's good side and why that's more important than you think. Now, first of all, it's not enough to just follow the rules, right? You cannot just, like, that's obviously where it starts. So you need to follow the rules, but also there's an algorithm that takes into account a lot more than just your ads and landing page. I'm going to give you some practical examples of how to improve your risk score in a little bit, right? Because it's one thing to know that, right, it's not just about making sure I'm compliant, but there's other things in your account that you can do to have a lower risk score. And when you do that, you're less likely to get disapproved, to get banned. And because that risk score, it impacts your whole account, like how easily it gets banned, as well as other things like your CPM. Now, I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into that for all of you. So we're going to talk about how to actually practically protect your ad account from being disabled, right? And again, I used to believe if you just follow the terms and conditions, I'll be fine. But that's not the case. But I want to stress out, that's obviously where it does start. I want to stress this out. Like, if you're here on this call and you're thinking, oh, I'll just break the rules and he's going to show me how to get away with it. No, you need to follow the rules from Facebook, right? That's where it starts. So step one is follow Facebook's policies, but not just follow Facebook's policies, follow Facebook's policies without leaving it up to chance, right? What do I mean with that? Well, first of all, you need to be familiar with the rules, right? If you're not familiar yet, note down this URL, facebook.com/policies/ads. It's something that you should read through and understand, but that's like basics. Like, that's what you need to do, right? But how do you then make sure you're not leaving it up to chance, right? Well, by avoiding two types of errors that can mistakenly result in getting your account flagged and therefore disabled by breaking the policies, even if you didn't plan to break them, right? And there's two types of errors. One is human error. Secondly is algorithm error, right? I want to explain to both what these are and how to actually prevent them, right? So first of all, how to avoid human error. This is probably the most easiest one, because even if you know all the policies, you read through all the policies, and like, let's be real, you're not going to read through it every week or so. You just read through it and then you kind of forget about it. So it's easy to forget the little things, like you're writing your ads or you're shooting a video, and all of a sudden you say something that maybe you shouldn't have said. Maybe in a video you suddenly say like, hey, as an example, hey, yeah, I got a new client, and I helped him to generate over $5,000 last week. Like, you just said that in the video and you didn't really think about it, and all of a sudden, like, you're actually breaking one of the rules, right? So it's really easy to forget the little things. And that's why what I want you to do is, while reading the policies, the link that I just shared in the previous slide, is write down whatever it means for you, right? A practical checklist for your ads and landing pages. As a reminder, like, every time when you create a new ad, you're just gonna go to a checklist, like, hey, did I do any of these things, right? Or have someone else check it for you to make sure, just as a way to actually be sure. Like, for example, just a couple of examples, you can actually take note of these as well. For example, when you are creating ads, don't use the words you or yours too much. If you do that, Facebook will flag you for it. You cannot do that because it makes it too personal for the Facebook user, and they will flag your ads for it, and therefore you will put your account at risk. So don't do that. That could be something on your checklist. Like, did I say you or your too much? If so, change it, right, before you actually upload the ad. For example, another thing on your checklist could be, don't change Facebook's brand name. So you don't say FB or IG, but you say Facebook in full, Instagram in full. You might be aware, but like that's something that's actually against the rules, right? A third, or for example, a checklist for your landing page. Every time when you create a new landing page, so you have a checklist knowing exactly, right, what should I do, what should I don't, what can't I do? Like, don't use pop-ups, exit pop-ups, for example, or add a disclaimer privacy policy. In other words, have a checklist for your ads, have a checklist for your landing pages, so that every time when you create a new ad, you can just quickly go through the checklist and like, oh yeah, cool, I've done all these things, now we're good. Oh, actually, no, I forgot this one. I need to make a little change to make sure my ad is actually compliant, and therefore I'm not getting flagged, right? So that's the first thing. This is how you avoid human error, because we're all human, we all make mistakes. But then there's also this thing is like called algorithm error, right? Because this is the point that I was making earlier. With 7 million advertisers, and I don't know how many new Facebook ads being created on a daily basis, everything happens automatically, right? So there's an algorithm analyzing all your ads to see if you break the rules, and the algorithm does their best to understand your language and your ad, but it's not 100% accurate. Like, there's never a 100% accuracy, right? So there could be things that you write that, even though you're not breaking the rules, it could be perceived as such, or like it could maybe potentially be flagged for that. I'll give you an example. Let's say one of the rules is misleading claims. You cannot do misleading claims. You cannot say like, hey, I've done a certain kind of result in a certain amount of time frame, right? That's not allowed. So like something like, here's how we've helped one of our clients generate $5,000 last week. That's not okay. That's against the rules, right? You cannot do that. But what about something like, one of our clients is selling a product for $5,000. Like, you're not making a claim. All you're stating is that he's selling a product for $5,000, like, or maybe offering, or maybe he's not even selling it. Like, that's just a fact. Like, you're not doing anything. So technically, you're not really breaking the rules. However, what the algorithm is going to see is like, maybe it reads it correct, but you're risking that they see like, hey, there's a big dollar amount, clients like selling. All right, probably he's making a claim. Right? Probably he's making a claim, even though maybe you didn't break it, but they might actually see it. So it's always good to always take that into account. Whenever you create a Facebook ad, to ask yourself like, hey, if someone would have like terrible English or terrible in whatever language you are, terrible Dutch in my case, like, what would they, could they misinterpret, like, could they misunderstand what I'm actually saying here? And for example, don't even use big dollar values in your ads, because they might actually accidentally pick it up as a flag, right? So that's the first thing. Basically, don't like follow the rules without leaving anything up to chance. But even if you follow the rules, ad account get disabled for what it seems no obvious reason, right? And below the surface, there actually is a reason, and that is, again, your risk score. In other words, your reputation, right? That's the most important thing. So then it's like, how do we optimize your risk score? How do we make sure Facebook sees less risk in your ad account, right, compared to what it was before, for example? How do we actually lower that so that your ad account is less likely to get flagged? Well, there's a couple of things that we can do there, actually a lot of things, but I want to go through a couple of them. In a nutshell, like they connect pretty much everything you do with Facebook. Like it's crazy how much data they have, and they use all that data along with AI to make an assumption of how risky you are, like as a person, as well as your business manager account, right? And some of these things they actually show us, and they're kind of obvious. Like we know it has an impact, right? I'm going to share 3 examples of those and how you can actually improve them. Like things are obvious, but also, and this was something I recently learned as well, there's some things that aren't obvious at all, but have a huge impact on your risk factor, because they know like, hey, if you are doing this or have you this particular thing, then most likely you are a risky person, like because other people who are doing crazy, stupid stuff did the same thing, right? So I'll share 3 examples for each to make it practical. Make sure to take notes here, because this is going to be good stuff that you can actually take action on, right? Oh, and by the way, the risk score is something internal on Facebook. We cannot see it. We don't have access to it. This is something only Facebook employees can actually see on the inside, right? But they said, as I mentioned, my insider said, like, it's the #1 factor. Like, their reputation is the #1 factor that's most important, right? They don't care as much about this little tiny Facebook ad, but they care more about like what's the actual reputation of your whole, like of you as a business. Because if you have a really good reputation, if Coca-Cola makes a tiny mistake in their ad, they're not going to get shut down because they have a really high reputation, right? So how do we improve our risk score and therefore our reputation? Again, 3 examples for things that are visible, that are actually kind of obvious. And I think some of you will already know these things. Some of you might actually be new. For example, first one is reduce the amount of rejected Facebook ads, right? Secondly, increase your Facebook page feedback score. Thirdly, improve quality ranking. Again, these are just 3 examples of how to improve your risk score, like the things that Facebook makes visible, right? So whenever you get an ad rejected on Facebook, don't just leave it there, right? Go to your account quality page inside your business manager. You'll find it in the menu, account quality, and go and appeal that Facebook ad. Say like, hey, you actually let Facebook know they accidentally drew the wrong conclusion, because you want them to know like, hey, your ad was actually not a violation, it was an okay ad, right? So whenever it happens, make sure to appeal your rejected ad as a to-do from now on, to reduce the amount of rejected ads inside your Facebook ad account. Secondly, increase your Facebook page feedback score. You'll find this inside your Facebook page insights. That's where you get a score, depending, like you won't see it right away, but if you do a certain amount of volume, a certain amount of sales, because Facebook, what they do is that when you sell something on Facebook, they will then, in the period after that, they will show a little ad to your customer, asking them for feedback about you. So your customers will actually vote what their experience was. So how do you improve that? Well, actually by improving your customer satisfaction, right? Making sure they get their packets fast, making sure you get good customer support. But you can actually see it on Facebook. Facebook make this clear that this is an important score for them, right? And also improve your quality ranking. You can see that for your particular ad. So for every ad, you get a quality rank. You can actually, this is not the same as the risk score, obviously, but for every ad, you have a quality rank, and make sure that you create Facebook ads that people really enjoy. So these are 3 examples of things that are kind of obvious, right? But then there's also things that are not visible, that are not as obvious, things that have a huge impact on your risk factor, but you probably didn't even know it. Like this is not your ad itself, or not your landing page itself. And the third one is probably gonna maybe blow your mind a little bit. So first of all, right, this is like, they actually, like if you confirm your identity, your personal and your business manager, you get a higher risk score. If you haven't actually verified or identified your personal Facebook account or your Facebook business manager, that's a quick step. You can do that tonight, right after, right? So what you can do is, like, for your personal account, go to facebook.com/ID. That's where you can actually verify your personal account. So Facebook from that point onwards knows, like, hey, this is an actual legitimate person. They have verified their ID, and therefore we trust this person more, right? You're not as likely to be some kind of fake Facebook account which is going to scam stuff, right? So boom, immediately higher risk, improved risk score, to reduce risk score, but a better reputation. Secondly, if you haven't verified your business manager yet, go to your business manager, to your business settings, then security center, and that's where you can verify your business manager as well. So you let Facebook know, hey, I'm not just some random account. I'm a legitimate business. Here are my business documents, and therefore you get a higher reputation. So that's a super simple thing you can do. Like everyone here can take action on this tonight or tomorrow right away, right? It's really easy, right? Another one that is impacting the risk factor is avoid payment issues. This is something that I personally had an issue with. One of my accounts had, this is a while back, one of my accounts had a payment issue, right? And because of that, it got flagged, it got disabled, and then they reviewed everything, and I got a lot more trouble from it as well. Like, because like you might think, well, why is a payment issue such a problem? Because again, they use the AI to see like who might be doing weird stuff. And yes, there's also people who do a lot of black hat stuff, right? And guess what they do? They set up unverified accounts. They set up like a lot of accounts with a bunch of different credit cards, and those credit cards, they bounce. They're like risky credit cards. Like, so they see that pattern. And when you have that as well, it's like, wait a second, this guy also has a expired card, or like his payment methods don't go through. Like this is actually impacting your risk score. But the good thing is this is like easy to fix, right? Like it's not hard to verify your account. It's not hard to make sure your credit card goes through. Like it's doable, right? But it does have an impact even outside your ads and landing page. Now, thirdly, and this is something that shocked me, is that you can actually get flagged. Your account can get flagged by agencies, freelance, or team members. I actually want to ask all of you a question right now. Who has, have you ever had help from someone inside your ad account? Have you ever had a team member get access to your ad account? Have you ever got an agency or like a freelancer? Did someone ever get access to your ad account? Where you basically invite them into your ad account and they can then manage and do stuff as well. Like if it's just you, then good. But if you let other people access your ad account as well, your ad account might actually be at risk. I recently experienced this myself as well, where I invited someone, and that person, the other person, like not me, the other person that I invited into my ad account, he has been working with someone else's ad account before that got disabled. So this guy was running ads for someone else. That other ad account had got nothing to do with it, got disabled. Then that same freelancer, I add him into my ad account, and my ad account, my risk score goes way up because someone inside my ad account is linked to the disabled ad account. Like I had no idea this would actually be an issue, right? And fortunately, there's an easy fix for that, but like I had no idea, right? It's actually because I removed him, I was able to get the ad account back right away. But like a lot of you, like you've got no idea that this is actually an issue, but it is, right? Like it can be, and that's why it's so important to make sure that whoever you add into your ad account is completely clean, right? So, and that sort of covers number 3. I'll summarize in a little bit. Number 3 is actually a bit of an obvious one, to make sure, the step number 3, to make sure your ad account doesn't get disabled, and that's to keep running ads, which is an obvious one. But just so you know, I think some of you already know this, but if you have a Facebook ad account and you don't run any ads for a 60-day period, they will disable the ad account for inactivity, right? So that's a simple one. If you're not running ads at the moment, but you do have a Facebook ad account, make sure that every once in a while you run a Facebook ad, you spend a little bit of money on there to make sure you're not being disabled for that, right? So just to quickly recap, how to protect your ad account from being disabled. First of all, follow Facebook's policy without leaving it up to chance. Make sure you have a checklist that you can go through every time, or if you hire a copywriter, give them the checklist as well. Like this is what you need to follow to make sure you're not, you don't have any issues, right? And then improve your risk factor and reputation. I just shared 6 examples of how you can actually do that. There's obviously more, but like make sure you improve their risk factor. And 3, keep running ads. That's obviously like kind of obvious, but I wanted to have that in there as well. Now, does that mean that there's 0 chance that your ad account will get disabled? Wilco? No, it's very unlikely, but never say never. Right? Like again, every ad account is different. Every situation is different. Unlikely, but never say never. And that's why number 4 is important as well, and that is to be prepared. In other words, know what to do when you do lose your ad account, which brings me to the 3rd part of the presentation, how to get your ad account back using the number 1 factor according to a Facebook insider. Right now, the good news is that once they disable your account, they actually do let you appeal it. Who has ever done an appeal? I'd actually love to know who has done an appeal. Like you lost your ad account, like I'm going to appeal, right? I'm going to appeal and I'm going to get it back. You're probably energetic, or maybe you're not energetic, maybe you're the complete opposite of energetic, but at least you do an appeal hoping that you would get your account back, right? So let me know who has ever done appeal after losing your ad account. Now, from those people, like a lot of people did, cool. Who has ever received a message kind of similar like this one? Now, this is the message, literally, I copy pasted it that I got initially, like, hey, Wilco, I had another look at your ad account, and unfortunately, we won't be able to re-enable it. Our policies are in place to keep users safe and foster a positive global community. When accounts run ads that don't comply with these advertising policies or other standards, they're disabled. At this point, there's no further action that you may take. Please consider this decision final. Thanks, Facebook ads team. And when I first got that, I was like, oh no, like I was, what, is this the final decision? And again, I was devastated. I was like, how can this be? Like, oh, this is not fair. Like, it should be, how can this be final? Like, I need my ad account back. Please, someone help me, right? And then I sent another message, like, and I got the exact same message back. Like, actually slightly different, but pretty similar, right? And then I was like, wait a second, this seems like a canned response. So I actually Googled it. And there was like right here, over close to 5,000 hits results online on that very section. Like, in other words, that is not like, they just say that. They literally just say that because they don't want you to take further action. Because quite frankly, with 7 million advertisers, can you imagine how much work it is to deal with everyone personally? So they just automate a lot of that stuff as well. They just say like, no, your ad account is disabled. This decision is final. Well, the good news, it's definitely not final. The first time I got that message, like I said, I thought it was definitely not the case. So that's the good news. In the past, they let you do unlimited appeals. Like you can do multiple appeals. Like, hey, you got an appeal, not good news. Do another appeal, good, not good. Now they limit that to roughly 3. Usually it's like, in my experience, it's been 3, but like sometimes it might be different. Officially, there's other ways to kind of get around that, but officially 3. And but obviously, like if let's say you get that message, like let's say your ad account gets disabled and you send an appeal and you get a message back, right? Well, you can obviously say like, you know what, I'm just going to go and do the same appeal again because maybe this time, you know, I'm going to be lucky. It's kind of like going to the casino, right? Maybe this time I'm going to be lucky. Well, that's obviously not the smartest thing to do, right? Because remember, the reason why your ad account, there is a reason why your ad account got disabled. Maybe you don't know it. Maybe it's not obvious. Maybe it's behind the scenes. Maybe it's something to do with your account. But there is a reason, right? So the question is like, is being nice in your appeal? Please, I didn't do anything wrong. Please, can I get my ad account back? Is that really going to change that? Right? Hint, it's not. Like, obviously, it's good to write a good response, but like if your ad account is still in the same standing, like the issue is still there, like it's not going to make that big of a difference. You can be lucky though, but I don't want to be lucky. I want to actually do what's inside my control and make it way more likely I get my account back, right? So who can guess what, actually, let me know in the chat, who can guess what the #1 thing is that they look at according to a Facebook Insider, like to the guy I spoke to? Like, who can guess what the #1 thing is? Is it that tiny little Facebook ad that you created? It is your account reputation, right? That's the main thing they look at. Like, if you have a good reputation, you're way more likely to get it back. If you were like, your ad account is like, seems like a super risky ad account. It's just like, there's just so much stuff, like it has a bad, terrible risk score. Like, they're not gonna put their ass on the line to help you out and get your account back. Because again, they're just people there. They're like going through all these appeals. You're nothing special. You're 1 out of 7 million. So they're just gonna look at your account quickly and like, oh wow, this is like super high risk, bad reputation. Nah, like, why would they help you? So, but if you're like right at the edge of like, you know, your reputation is pretty good, but for whatever reason your ad account got disabled, then all of a sudden you got a way better chance. And then if you have the right message, you actually have a good shot, right? So obviously, knowing what to say to Facebook in your appeal does matter, but it matters more what they'll see on their end when they look into your account, because you know they can pull up all the data of your account and they have a bit of an overview and they can decide based on that, like, hey, is this guy or girl, is this okay? So before you send your appeal, like if you get ad account gets disabled, you don't want to immediately start appealing. Before you appeal, you put in the work to improve your risk score reputation, right? You start optimizing your account, if that makes any sense. So for example, For example, you remove at-risk team members, right? Like I mentioned before. For example, you verify a profile business manager if you haven't done that yet. For example, you double check your landing page for compliance. For example, a while back when I got one of those issues as well, like I removed an at-risk team member, multiple actually, but also I ran through all my landing pages in detail, and I made sure that everything that might be sort of like against, like it wasn't against the rules, but like if it could be perceived as such, or like it's sort of like on that gray area, I removed it, I edited it, I changed it. Like I did everything I could. I just went through my complete account, everything I could to improve my account, to make sure it's in as good shape as possible before I actually appeal. And then you make a good case and send the appeal, right? And in case you can't appeal anymore, because again, you got there are alternative ways you can reach out to Facebook, but first you actually improve your account. And someone's asking again, well, how do you see your risk score? You can. That's the thing. Like you cannot see your actual score. It's kind of like there's things you can do that you just know will have an impact. And there's things like I can share that list, but like that's really what it all stands. So instead of how do you get your account back, what it comes down to is you're not just going to randomly send appeal messages like some people do, but instead, first, you're going to improve your reputation and risk score. You're going to do everything within your power to make sure your personal profile looks as good as possible. Your business manager, like everything is as good as possible. And then you send an appeal, and you don't stop after one try, right? Like usually, like one is not good enough. You'll have to have a little bit of patience, but you will have to be persistent as well. So that's really what, like obviously we were all busy. Like that's really what it all comes down to. How to avoid Facebook's ban hammer on a high level view, and how to win your account back. And if you do get it, is first of all to know that every ad account has a risk score. You can't see it, but it's there, and it's like it's the crucial part that Facebook uses to decide what's going to happen, right? So improve that to lower your risk and also your CPMs, as I mentioned. And also part two, like if you follow the rules, that's not necessarily enough to prevent being disabled. Like even if you do follow the rules, you can get disabled because everything matters. Like for example, having someone on your team or an agency who puts a risk on your account without you even noticing, without you even realizing it. And thirdly, get your account back by first of all improving your reputation before actually appealing, right? And also this is like kind of like an iceberg. I just shared like what's visible on the top. There's a lot of stuff that's under the surface as well. And I know that some of you probably think right now like this is a lot. Like what do I actually do? How do I actually do this? Like maybe you're a bit confused right now, right? So because obviously we covered a lot here, but I do hope I opened your eyes to understand that there's just more than just trying to follow the rules to prevent your ad account from being disabled. There's a lot more to it, right? And there are ways you can actually win your account back. And here's the thing: I know how frustrating it is to lose your ad account. From personal experience, it's super frustrating, and there's a lot more to it to really optimize your ad account as well. So I decided to help some of you out to do that. So my question to all of you is like, would it be okay if I spend a couple minutes about a special program that I put together that will help some of you to get your account back, or to get to make sure you don't lose your account in the first place? Would it be okay if I talk a couple of minutes about that before I show you the screenshots that I promised before from inside Facebook systems? Like no one else has seen this before, so that's pretty cool. Cool, awesome, I appreciate that. I always want to ask permission first. So what I've done is, like I said, over the last couple of years, I've been diving into this topic a lot. I've been learning and writing it up for our own internal usage. And as mentioned, there's a lot of things that you can do to win your account back and to keep your account safe. And with Facebook ads being so important for businesses these days, I decided to develop a program that helps entrepreneurs keep their account safe or win their account back if it's already happened. And it's called Protect Your Ad Account. That's a new program we're launching today. And what it is, it's a step-by-step blueprint to protect your Facebook ad account from being disabled or get it back if it's already happened. And it's a 2-day live event online where I'll walk you through every step. You can ask questions and all of that, and you get all the secrets, all the inside scoops, and nothing held back. So for example, some of the things we're going to cover next week during this 2-day event are, for example, first of all, how to keep your ad account from being disabled. Discover how to get your ad account back if it's already disabled, even if they tell you the decision is final. Like I'm going to show you in detail how all the steps. Immediately increase your account's reputation by improving hidden factors, the things that don't have anything to do with your ad landing pages. How to make sure your ads are always compliant, even when others write it for you. how to properly warm up new accounts to avoid being flagged. So people, if you open a new account and all of a sudden like you don't warm up your account, you just start running ads, you're going to get flagged and your ad account gets disabled as well, right? And the sixth way of getting a hold of Facebook, because appealing isn't your only option. Like if you can't appeal anymore, there's other ways to get in touch with Facebook. And obviously also exactly what to say when you're talking to Facebook or when you're appealing to Facebook. And the one thing you need to do after you win your account back, and this is something I've never seen anyone talk about, but if you don't do this, some of you might do an appeal and you win your account back, and then only to realize a couple months later, they disabled your account again. That's because you missed this critical thing. So that's something I'm going to share during that event as well, and how to know when an agency or consultant is putting your account at risk and how to actually fix it. And this last insight actually costed me $3,500 to learn. I recently hired a consultant to share that tip with me, and I paid $3,500 exactly. And it's because of that one tip, and that's just one of the many things we're going to cover. I applied it, and I applied it to a lost ad account, an account that I lost months and months ago. Before I knew a lot of things I now know. I applied to that account and boom, I got it back, even though I had already gone through all the appeals and all that. Like I was a lost cause and I got it back within a couple of minutes, which is crazy, right? So this workshop is really a must-attend for every Facebook advertiser that takes its business seriously. So if you're joining today, if you're signing up right here on this call, what you're going to get is you're going to access to the 2-day live Protect Your Ad Account workshop. It's happening next week over the course of 2 days. It's not going to be full 2 days, so as long as it needs to be, every question will be answered. But some of you, you may be wondering, like, what if you're not yet advertising yet, or you believe or maybe you believe your ad account is in good standing, you don't need it yet, or you simply can't join live. Well, you want to make sure that you have this information at your doorstep. You want to make sure you have this available to you. So because I've seen so many advertisers lose their account for seemingly no reason, it can happen to anyone. And as they say, expect the best and prepare for the worst. So you want to make sure that for whenever it does happen, you have this information available for you. And that's why after the event has happened, we're also gonna professionally edit it into a masterclass, right? So this is everything from the event, a bite-sized, well-edited PDF, video and PDFs, making it easy to get the information you need whenever you need it. So you're not just gonna get the replays of the event, like here you go, like just go for it. No, we're going to do it in bite-sized, like, you know, exactly. Hey, I need to know what to say to Facebook. Oh, that's this for this video right here. Hey, I need to know how to contact Facebook. I did this part right here, like this video right here. So it's going to be professionally edited, so you have this in your account available at any time when you want. Right? So you're going to get the 2-day live Protect Your Ad Account workshop, as well as afterwards professionally edited masterclass from the event as well. Now, some of you will work with a team, or you just want to save time, right? You just want to have it all available right away. So as one of the bonuses, I'm going to give you all of our protection checklist and SOPs, standard operating procedures, right? So using this, you know exactly what to do to protect your ad account, so there's no time wasted. This will be in PDF format. It's easy to share with colleagues, consultants, or agencies to make sure they comply with you as well, and it obviously prevents human error. So for example, you're going to get our compliance cheat sheet, improve your risk score, agency onboarding checklist, and metrics to monitor an ongoing basis. So we're going to add that to the special package as well. So you're going to get the live workshop, plus we're going to edit it all completely, plus we're going to give you all of our protection checklist and SOPs. Now on top of that, we're also going to give you a rescue checklist and SOPs. That's what we have ourselves, that we have ready to make sure that whenever an ad account gets disabled, we know exactly what to do. So when your ad account gets disabled, you're ready to take immediate action. You'll limit the amount of time that it's not available, right? So all the resources you'll need are in hand. For example, steps to get your account back, all ways to contact Facebook, and the appeal template as well, so exactly what to say. So we're going to add that to this offer as well. So you're going to get the 2-day live event, professional edit masterclass, and all of our protection checklists and SOPs, as well as a rescue checklist and SOPs that we've gathered over time internally. So you might ask yourself, like, well, does it really work, Wilco? Does it really work? But that's exactly why we're also going to give you access to our private community, right? Because as you know, Facebook is continuously changing and evolving. So this is why we can all keep in the loop with each other. For those who who are taking their business seriously and who are joining, we'll keeping the loop on each other and learning what's working best for everyone, right? So I'm gonna be in that community obviously as well, and we're gonna help each other move forward there. So that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get 2-day live Protect Your Account workshop. You can ask questions. Going to be next week. Professionally edited masterclass bonuses, our protection checklist, our rescue checklist and SOPs, as well as access to a private community for a total value of just over almost $7,500. Now, that might be a big number, but my question to you is like, if for $7,500, if all it did was prevent you from losing your ad account and sleep better at night, because like I said before, I have no idea how often I check my phone just to see like everything is still going smooth, because I rely on my ad account. But if you stop worrying, would that be worth it, right? Or if you lost your ad account, what is it worth to you to get your ad account back, right? What's the potential that Facebook ads can deliver to your business? Would it be worth it to have that potential back on your doorstep? And would it be worth it if all it did reduce your CPMs due to a better reputation? If your ad account is still active, but maybe you're paying more than you actually need to, right? So that's really my question to you. Now, when I figured all this out, I basically had 3 choices, right? I could either say like, you know what, I'm going to keep everything to myself, which I did for quite a while, right? The second option is to go cheap, create some kind of PDF and try to sell as many as possible, like just like an ebook or something, but it wouldn't really incentivize me to really stack the value or share any of my best secrets, right? Let's be real, this is the way it is. Or the third option is to invest time, money, and resources to create something that's optimized for success and share every secret which requires a higher investment. That's why I bring in my team, and that's why I do professional edit. That's where I can actually share every secret. Now, again, this is gonna require a higher investment, but it will be more optimized for success. So my question now is like, what would it cost you if you'd lost your Facebook ad account? Like, what would it cost, for just like if you lost for a week or a year or maybe a lifetime? Like, what is your ad account worth, or what was your ad account worth if you already lost it? Like personally, I can't answer that for you. I cannot, but I know from my experience, like if I would lose my ad accounts for just a couple of weeks, there'll be 6 figures in damage, right? Like that's something that it's a lot. Like it would be a huge cost, right? So you can see why it would actually be a good deal at $5,000 to put an event like this. And quite frankly, I think quite a few of you would be interested if I would do it for $5,000. You're right. It's not gonna be $5,000. You already know that. Like you're here, you're smart. You're like, hey, the price is gonna drop. But it's not even going to be 4,000. It's not going to be 3,000 as well. Not going to be 2,000 as well. Because today, I want to share this just for those who are here on the webinar today. You're going to get access for only You can get access for only $750 today. So if you go to connectio.io/protect, you can sign up right now and you'll get everything I just mentioned for only $750 today. Let me just also show an offer so that you can actually click on it easily from within the webinar platform. You should be seeing it right now. So you can just click on that button and you can sign up right away. And to be completely fair, I was actually sharing this with a mastermind I'm in. It's actually Dutch, so if maybe someone is Dutch and they can actually translate this message for all of you here in the chat. But basically, I was saying like I was talking about this idea of like sharing all this knowledge with all of my customers. And the first guy who replied, he said like, well, actually, 2 weeks ago, I got a course, which was actually, just the basics, not even the inside scoops, for $2,500, right? And then someone else said like, well, that's actually, the price could actually be higher because, it's super, like this is what you're sharing is like way more valuable, right? So this is what my friends were saying, but I said, you know what? No, I'm just going to keep it at $750 because I want to do a fair price. That's also why it's not like, $749 or $799. Like yes, the $799, you do that if you want to make it seem cool or whatever. But it's just a fair price, which is way below market value. Because I do want to make sure that it's attainable for everyone to get your account back and to protect your ad account, because I know how frustrating it can be to lose your ad account, all right? So this basically means that now you have obviously 2 choices, right? Like you can either do nothing and keep your account at risk without knowing how to get it back if something were to happen, or second option is to take on this small investment today and get the help you need to protect your Facebook ad account or drastically increase the odds of winning it back, right? And I want to make it really easy for you, right? Because I know maybe you're considering it, and that is by giving you a 30-day money back guarantee. So if within a 30-day period, if you're not completely convinced of the overall value of this program, you'll get your money back. However, I do want to state something here. that might rub some of you the wrong way. And my apologies, but I do need to say it because this is a serious program that I put a serious amount of time in, and there's some inside scoops that I don't want the outside world to see. So if you are someone who's like, I'm just going to buy it and I'm going to ask for a refund, if you're someone who's already on the fence of asking for a refund, then this program is probably not for you, right? This program is for serious entrepreneurs who are dedicated to take action and actually implement this into their ad account, right? And if you're like, I'm just going to try and I'm just going to ask for a refund, then please, again, this is not for you. Yes, we do have a 30-day money back guarantee. Yes, I do stand behind this 200%, right? But I do want to make sure that, like, some people are just like, hey, I want to get the inside scoop and I'll just, ask my money back. So therefore, there's one requirement to get your refund. There isn't a 30-day refund guarantee, but there's one requirement. And that is that you're willing to have a call with me or my team explaining why you're requesting a refund. All you need to do is explain it on the phone and you'll get your money back. And that's my way of, like, basically raising the bar, like, to make sure that we only get serious people, because I want to make sure that I work with people who are serious as well, right? So again, full 30-day refund guarantee. Only requirement is that you have to jump on a call with me and my team, explain, like, hey, I want to ask a refund for this is why. That will be good feedback for us, and I will make sure that some of the people who are here to just ask for a refund anyway, right? Some people ask, I've seen people ask for a refund like 20 minutes after buying. Like, that doesn't make any sense, right? So, because obviously the event didn't happen yet, right? So 30-day refund guarantee, so there's no risk at all for any of you who wants to take care of this, right? And just so you know, like, if you're curious, like, hey, who's this guy and what is he actually, capable of? This is what some of our customers are saying about our other products. So, for example, Rasmus is saying, for what it's worth, Wilco is one of the best and most trustworthy product creators I've interacted with. Scott is saying, thank you, as always, you over-deliver. James here, this guy should be charging me at least 10x what he does for the value I get from the product I bought from him. Kieran says, like, you won't go wrong with Wilco's products, well developed and updated all the time. Sarah says, I love Wilco's Connectio products. Adam is saying, Wilco is good people, makes amazing products, and always works to make it profitable as possible for you and keep the business sustainable, right? So I just want to make clear that I'm here, like, I'm fully dedicated to make sure everyone is getting what they want. But I want to make sure that you make the commitment as well, that you're serious and you're actually going to take action. All right. So right now, the real question now that I have for you is, are you okay losing your ad account and all opportunity that goes along with it, knowing there are things you can do to prevent it and get it back, right? That's really the question. And if you're like, I'll just take my chances, then that's fine. If you're like, hey, I want to do what I can to make sure I don't lose my ad account or win it back, then you know what to do as well. So just to recap, what you're going to get: access to our 2-day live Protect Your Ad Account workshop, professionally edited masterclass as well. Afterwards, we're going to edit it completely, so it's not like no time wasted. It's going to be easy to find and easy to go through. And you're going to get all our protection checklists and SOPs, and you're going to get a rescue checklist and SOPs as well to get your account back, plus access to a private community for a total value over almost $7,500. But you only have to pay $750 here on this training today. All right. So the training is going to be next week, Wednesday and Thursday, same time as we did today's training. That's the starting time. So Wednesday and Thursday next week, right? And if you can make it live, again, we're going to edit everything in detail. It's not just going to be a recording, right? We're going to make sure it's all well edited, so you get all the content afterwards in your account as well, easy to go through. So that's for those who want to just go through it again, or want to know exactly where to go, don't want to waste any time, or who cannot make it live. And obviously, if you have any follow-up questions, we also have access to the private community as well, who I'll be a member of as well. All right. So that's what you're gonna get. If there's any questions, please do let me know while I take a sip of water, because talking for an hour makes you thirsty. Someone's saying 404, that's not good. It should be working at connectio.io/protect. So if you could do a refresh, or maybe, let me just check if it works. Maybe there's too many people logging on, but I don't think that should be the issue. It's working for me. So hopefully you can retry it. It should be working for you as well. That is connectio.io/connect. And I see people already joining, which is awesome. I'm glad to see you're taking action. And I'm glad to see that you want to improve your Facebook ad account and make sure your ad account doesn't get banned, or you can get it back, which is awesome. Cool. Derek said, yeah, the page works fine. That's awesome. How many hours each of those days? It will probably depend on how many questions we get. It's hard to say. I'm estimating 3 hours, 2 hours a day. Probably like maybe I'll basically be there as long as I need to answer all your questions. So like it could be way longer. And if needed, if there's more questions or like there's room for there's need for more, we'll continue afterwards, or we schedule another time where everyone's available. But normally around 2 or 3 hours for 2 days. So that's going to be next Wednesday and Thursday, starting at the same time we started today's training session. All right. Bill says, I'm in. Awesome, Bill. Well done for taking action. And again, if there's any questions, please do let me know. I'm actually genuinely excited to do the live event, because right now we do this live event to a bunch of people, but that event is going to be way more intimate and it's going to be more personal and close. And that's where we can actually, if you have any questions like more in depth, I'm more than happy to answer and do my best to help you out. And again, so you're going to get the 2-day live event. You're going to get, we have a video editor on our team. He's going to edit it all completely, chunk it up in little pieces and load it up into a dashboard. You can actually access it. And this is the access is ongoing. So even if you need it like 6 months from now, maybe you like, but my account is good. It kind of works like an insurance, right? Because that way at least you have it. So if like 6 months from now your ad account does get disabled, you know exactly what do I need to do to get it back? Like how do I increase the odds? And boom, you just have the checklist, right? The SOPs that we have. You just go in and you execute on it, right? So it's kind of like an insurance policy if you put it like that. So you're going to get access to the masterclass, to all our checklists and SOPs, both our protection as well as to get your account back, and access to our private community as well. Adam is saying already made the purchase. Awesome. And even if you want to start a new ad account, we're going to also how do you say that? We're going to also show you like how to warm up a new account and all that. Like if that's what you're into. Let's see if there's any questions. Yeah, Jessica, like if you don't do middays because you work, I totally understand. That's why we added it. And like personally, whenever there's an event like that, like I've joined as an attendee one of those events as well. Not about this, but like different topics. And every time when it happens, they just send out a replay, and that annoys me because I'm fine with doing it live, but like doing a long replay, I'm not going to watch it, right? And that's why we're cutting it apart and just making it like very directional, so that there's no time wasted. Either like this part I want to know, and this part, or you just watch the whole thing. That's up to you, but at least you can dive straight into what you actually need. All right, Adam, awesome to see. So if you want to join, it's still open and available right now at connectio.io/protect. All right, because let me just go through the questions as well. And by the way, like I see that now at this point, I see a lot of you have already signed up, which is awesome, and that makes me actually really happy because again, I wanna help you all. But some of you are still here, and I can tell that you're getting ready to sign up, as I mentioned, as you just asked. But yeah, again, if you have a question that you need answered first before making the decision, let's address those questions in the time that we have left. So, how much you can get access for only $750 today. So if you go to connectio.io/protect, it's only $750 for like everything we just spoke about. And as mentioned before, like one of the things I'm going to share during the 2-day event, I literally a couple of weeks ago, I paid someone $3,500, and I did that so I can give it all to you. Included is one of the many things in this training workshop, so you get that all for free. As well. So let me know if you get any questions, anything at all that I can help you with, and we get going, right? And obviously, like some people might actually have let's see. I think some people might actually have a question about the investment, and I get it, by the way. I totally get it, because this ain't chump change, right? It's a serious investment for a serious person, because we have a serious offer here that can, that can have a major impact on your business, or like whether you have your ad account at your disposal or not is a major impact on your business. But just so we're clear, if the price tag is the primary concern, let's be direct with one another, because oftentimes when people say like, I can't really afford something, I honestly I think it's not a matter of like able to afford, because what we have here today can, for $750 is obviously nothing to sneeze at. Don't get me wrong, it's nothing to sneeze at. However, if let's say you had to pay something like super important in your life tomorrow for $750, the thing that you're like super passionate about, or something, that will protect your life, whatever it is, all of a sudden you would find a way to pay $750. So it's not a matter of like not being able to afford. It's more like priorities, right? So it's more like, are you going to do it or not? So let's get rid of the myth of like whether or not you cannot afford. It's more, the real question is, are you willing to invest it? Are you willing to do what it takes to make this investment or not? Because as you sit here, you have three options, right? Again, option one is to do nothing. To do nothing doesn't just leave you with a problem, it actually makes the problem worse the longer you do nothing. So that's not it. Second option is to try to go at it yourself. But why? Like Facebook only gives you so many chances, so many appeals. So that's not it either, right? You're sort of going to gamble how to get your account back. And there's option number three, so just do it. And that is, yes, you're going to have to go out your comfort zone a little bit. But then the question is like, where do you think all the growth is coming from? That's usually, for me personally, most of my growth, as uncomfortable as it can be, is it's actually outside my comfort zone, right? So yes, totally understand. It's nothing to sneeze at, but it is, if you are serious about your Facebook ad account and about your business, in retrospect, compared to what the potential of your Facebook ad account is, it's actually very little. It's actually not much at all, right? So the real question now is like, is it worth gambling a little bit of time next week to check this out, to see if there's anything that you can improve in your ad account? And in case you're already hitting all the checks, like maybe you're doing everything, like maybe there's nothing new, which I know is not the case, but like at least you'll know, right? So you don't have to decide right now. Because again, when you sign up today, you still have the 30-day refund guarantee to decide whether it's what you expected, right? And if it's not what you expected, let us know. We'll jump on a call, explain us like, hey, this is not what I expected for whatever reason. I will give you your money back, right? No risk at all, right? Jessica, you're most welcome. You're most welcome. And Mark said, asking for how long are you offering this? We're offering this for a few days, but not with the extra bonus. Right now, I see we got 22 sales coming in. So if you want me to do an actual personal review on your ad account and your funnel, then there's 3 spots left. So there's 3 spots to get that. It's not like false scarcity or anything like that. Let's see. I'm not sure if I can share my. Actually, can you just see if I can show this on my screen so that you know I'm not full of, I want to be very fully transparent. Boom. Let me just, it doesn't work. Let me see. Here's my webinar screen. Here you go. 22 sales. I'm not, there's not, I just want to be fully transparent right here. I'm not saying that to like, hey, there's only 3 spots left. There literally is only 3 spots left to get the fast action bonus, to get that funnel review. I just want to be fully transparent about that because I know some people online, they just make stuff up, and that's it. And that's also part of this group, right? Like but this is not for people who want to do shady stuff. This is for those who run a legitimate business, but who want to protect their ad account while doing that, right? Because sometimes it's not enough to follow the rules of Facebook. Sometimes it's not enough to, to do the best for your customers. Sometimes you just need to know what else it takes to make sure your ad account is in good shape, or how to get it back, right? There's just insights that you don't really know, that you won't really see on the outside, that you just need to know in order to get your account back, right? So to be completely honest, I'm guessing that there's actually, the way I see it, I'm guessing there's 2 types of people right now, like who joined the webinar today, right? And there's those, and this is more like in life as well, there's those who have a tendency to blame others, and those who take matters into their own hand, right? And I've personally seen it happen where someone who lost their ad account, and all they did was just saying how unfair it was, and like they just complained about it. Well, that's not very helpful, right? You can complain all you want, but that's not going to help you get your account back. And on the other end of the spectrum, there's people who take action, right? People who take matters into their own hand. Those are the people that I prefer to work with, because those are the ones that are most successful. So my question is, who are you, right? Like someone who takes matters into their own hands, who's just going to blame Facebook, right? I mean, I don't want to, make you feel guiltier than you already do. I don't want to insult you or anything at all. I'm just pointing out that there is something that you can do, and it's right in front of you. And it all starts by you going to connectio.io/protect and entering your details right there. That's when it starts. And the next week, Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to do the live show where I'm going to go walk through every step in detail, right? Every step in detail. If you have any questions, we're going to cover those as well. Then after that, after the event is over, we're going to actually edit everything, cut it up in little pieces and videos, and within a week or so, you'll have it added into your dashboard, maybe even faster, depending on how much work it is for our video editing team. And we're going to provide you with all our SOPs and checklists as well that will help, that we've used and we are using to protect our ad account, as well as how to get our ad account back faster and more likely as well. Plus, you're going to get access to the private community as well. And Mark's saying, I'd love to know what the Facebook Insider had to say. Yes, I'll definitely show that as well. So let me just go to that part because obviously I got this slide. Let me just. So as promised, I would show some screenshots from the Facebook's Insider system. And obviously, most of the stuff is actually, I'm going to share that next week for obvious reasons, right? But I promise I would show some screenshots of like what they keep track of inside their systems, but we can never see, right? We as advertisers have no clue what they're tracking, right? But like, here's just a bunch of stuff that they're tracking for our ad account. I'm not going to go through all these little things, but for example, one of the things that they flagged 5 weeks ago for our account is IP fail, right? The fact that one of our websites wasn't accessible, like our hosting was down, someone clicked on our ad and they didn't actually get to our website. And because of that, it's like, boom, I get a little bit of extra risk to my account because that should not happen, right? So there's just like a lot of things that we have no clue that they're actually tracking, but they are, right? And that's one of the things I'm going to share in the next week on the training as well. So Daniel, awesome for getting access. I'm excited to work with you as well and to see you next week on that training. Now, if there's any questions that you have, if there's anyone who's still on the fence, I see we got 430 people still live. So at the very least, if you're watching right now, could you please let me know I'm still listening so that I know that whether people are currently, I don't know, like watching Netflix and have this presentation open in the background, or whether people are actually listening, right? So I know I'm not just talking to myself in front of a laptop right here. And as for the people who already joined, awesome. Let me just go through some of the questions, see if I missed anything. Leon is asking, can I speak with someone before I buy? Yes, I'm here right now. So Leon, let me know how I can help you. If you have any questions that you might want me to answer, I'm here available to answer any kind of question that you have, right? Is there going to be a recording of today's webinar? I'm going to check with my team afterwards to see what we're going to do, because hopefully I showed a couple of things that are like from inside Facebook. But I think we will. So I think actually, yeah, let's just, you know what? Yes. Here and now, I'm making the decision. So if my team is listening, yes, we are doing a replay. So yes, I'll send the replay out either tonight or tomorrow. I'll do it as fast as I can, but obviously it's already evening here, and I got the little one to take care of as well. So do my best either tonight or tomorrow. I'll send out a replay of today's session. All right. Moment is asking, the price for 750, is that for a lifetime? Yes, you only have to pay once. There's nothing recurring. There's nothing to pay later on. You have lifetime access to it. Is this program for a person who already has their profile restricted? What are my options? Yes, actually, that's a good point. What we're also going to cover is how to actually create new ad accounts. Because if your profile is actually restricted, it's definitely a bit harder to do it from that profile, because everything you do from that profile is going to be at risk. So it's actually better to go from like maybe a girlfriend or someone else, someone that you know, use their personal profile and then use that to create a new ad account and a new business manager and things like that. So that's something we're going to cover as well. Is the webinar about how to protect your ad account done? Well, I'm here to answer any kind of questions that you might have. Alan, you're most welcome. How about recovering the account? Yes, we're going to cover that as well. If it's a personal profile, it's, even though you might be able to recover it, a personal profile, once it's flagged and you get it to recover, it's still a risky thing. I would not use that flagged account, previously flagged personal account, to create like a business manager account. Like that's a risky thing to do, because then you already start with like a risk score that you don't really want. So I'd probably prefer to like use my wives or my girlfriends or someone else that I actually know, and trust, obviously. Having 3 personal accounts is bad. Yes, that is a bad thing. Yes, actually, that's a really good point. Let's say you have multiple personal accounts and they're like part of your business manager, and they discover that you have multiple personal accounts. That is a big no-no, big red flag. Like that stuff like that can get you in big trouble. And even though if they find out, maybe you don't even know they know, right? Like you don't know that they know, but they might have put a much higher risk score in your profile. Like I had some of these myself in the past from one of my team members. I had no clue, but they had a super high risk score because of it, right? So definitely don't have multiple Facebook profiles. Every Facebook profile should be a real person, and ideally should be verified with their ID as well, right? Ban business manager final decision. Is possible to win them back? Yes, yes. And then, like I said, everything has a backup. Like first game plan is to get your do not get banned. Second is to win it back, right? And like I said before, the only certainty in life is uncertainty. So that's why there's a third option, and that is how to actually restart new campaigns, right? Sorry, new accounts, how to warm them up properly, how to make sure that they don't get flagged, for example, not using the same credit card, so stuff like that. Like there's things you can do there as well to make sure you can get going. But again, I focus on the first two parts, but I cover the last part as well, how to set up new ad accounts as well. Yes, so someone's asking, is the lifetime access also for any update and tips? Yes, everything we add will be to this program will be added here as well. Now, I'm not saying, like, you want to be completely fair, I'm not saying that every month or whatever we're going to redo and recreate. No, that's not the point. But whenever we do add something, yes, we'll actually add it to the program and you will get all the updates as well. And that's obviously also why we have access to the private community. So you can get inside tips there as well, of like what's working for others as well. I just opened my first business manager account. I believe you can open two, correct? You can open two business managers. You have to use two different business names for this. And how the two businesses have to be legit with business registration in your country. Yeah, like again, yes, I would like you can create two business managers even in the same business, right? However, it's best if every business manager gets verified, is like that it's actually a legit business. So ideally, both business managers have their own business, right? The actual entity, right? And actually, the good thing is there's some, depending on where you are, like personally in the Netherlands, for me, there's a lot of paperwork involved to create extra entities. But for example, in the US, I believe there's online platforms like Stripe Atlas, I think they do it, where it's quite easy to create a new entity to then use that, obviously. But that, like creating new entities, that's obviously not part of my experience because, yeah, in the Netherlands, it's different compared to other countries. Eric is saying, I'm noticing how much our current ads use you in them. Yes, that's one of the things that's definitely a risk. Obviously, there's more things, but like I used to do that as well. Where it's like, hey, you want to do this, or do you know this? And a lot of you and your, and that actually Facebook does not like it. It's actually, and they will flag your ads for it, and therefore it will put a mark on your ad account as well. So don't overuse you and your. Like it's not like, hey, you use the word you one time and it's going to be a problem. But if throughout your whole ad, like you, your, that's a problem, right? And that's why having those checklists and SOPs are important. So you can just, whenever before you publish a new ad, before someone else in your team publishes a new ad, you can go through a checklist and say, hey, is it, do we check all dots? Like, is it actually, is it good to go or not? Oh, hey, no, I wrote like way too many U's, so we need to change that, right? Boom, change it before it actually goes live. That's exactly how it works, Eric. Owen, how many business managers can I verify with one business entity? I would need to double check. I like to always double check things. From the top of my mind, that is actually one. Like maybe you could go through it, multiple business manager with one entity, but I believe like they want every business manager to be one entity as well. So one BM for one entity. I will need to double check. So let me just mark that down and get back to next week during the training. Cool. Any other question? Anyone who's still on the fence? I see there's over 300 people, and I would love to answer some questions. If you're like I would really, I'm advertising on Facebook. I'm not sure if this is for me. If you have any questions, then please do let me know. And for some of you who haven't signed up yet, and who, from a financial point of view, you feel comfortable knowing you can make the investment without breaking a sweat, your question is maybe the real question, because maybe for you it isn't about the money, but it's about time, right? Because money can be replenished, but time, a minute gone is gone forever. And I totally get that, right? So maybe you're like, hey, do I need to spend time on this? Like, this is live event going on. Is that really like, I don't do live events. I just want to get the result, right? Totally get that. That's exactly why we've got the SOPs and the templates as well, to make sure that you can actually, you can just use that, or even you can just send it over to your team if you're already at that level. If you have a team or you have freelancers, boom, and immediately by them following those things, your account will start to do better, right? Like you're reducing risk on your end. So in that case, you don't have to spend a lot of time, and so like an insurance policy that you can send to your team, and they'll be able to take access to it. So if that's who you are. So if there's any questions, please do let me know. Leon is saying, can you answer my question? Let me just scroll through if I can see what your previous question was, because there's a lot of chat. I'm scrolling through, Leon. So Leon is asking, I have my ad account restricted about 1 year ago. I tried to appeal a couple of times without any success. I want to purchase this program, reopen my ad account. Can I have help from your team to reinstate this ad account? And if Facebook will not reinstate, can I then get a refund on the program? Good question. So first of all, I recently got an ad account, which was, I think it was like 8 months ago, good man. And I made some changes based on what is in the training, and I got it back last week again. Even though I did multiple appeals, I couldn't get back. So I think maybe probably like an account got disabled like 3 years ago isn't doable, but like the time wouldn't be the major issue. However, you're asking for, can you get my personal help? Like I'm like, yes, you got my help through the program, right? So I'm sharing all the knowledge that I have, and I'm helping you by showing you exactly what to do. So I think that's way more effective to share all the knowledge with everyone, so that everyone has, instead of like, hey, I'm going to jump on a call with you, share everything how you do it, and do that like 25 times over, right? That would not be effective. So me helping you is through the program, where you can ask me questions during the event next week, and also obviously there's the Facebook community afterwards as well. However, the last question I do actually want to answer is that you said like, hey, if Facebook doesn't actually get my account back, can I get a refund? Well, first of all, we got a 30-day refund guarantee, right? So I stand by that. If whoever is thinking like, hey, after 30 days, I'm not convinced of all the value, let us know. We'll jump on a call and you can explain me why you feel it is, and then you will get a refund, right? However, I don't think it's fair to have, like, it's your decision to jump on board. There's the only certainty in life is uncertainty. Like, I can promise you that you have a way better chance of getting your ad account back. There's never a 100% certainty, right? Like, it's all still up to Facebook. So I want to be clear of that. So if you're like, hey, I kind of want to, but only if this really works, like, I can promise you have a way better chance. And also, if you have a new ad account that you want to start using, how to warm them up, like, I promise you that you get way more value out of it than you'd actually know what you're paying for. But to answer your question, right, Leon, yes, you can ask for a refund. All you need to do is jump on a call. I just want you to think about it beforehand, before you jump on board, to say like, hey, am I committed or not? Because I only want the people who are actually committed to join, because this is a serious program for serious entrepreneurs only. As I mentioned before, I don't want to insult but sometimes I see people who are joining with the thought of just refunding, and that usually doesn't work well. So I just want to be fully clear and transparent about that. Hopefully I didn't rub anyone the wrong way, but it's always good to be fully open and transparent, right? I have Viral says, like, I have 104 pages with 1.1 million fans. The Facebook should be down for no reason, no explanation for the 11th time. I've spent over 20K in ads, and now live support person said it's permanent. Yes, the permanent message is actually quite annoying because they make it seem it's permanent, but that's just because they don't want you to keep bugging them. The thing is, like, if you were going to just send messages over and over, like, hey, please re-enable, it's not going to change anything, right? You first need to, like, what can you do to improve your account status, right? And like, whatever it is, like, do all these things and then try again, see if it works then, right? Just again, there's no certainty, but you're going to be way more likely to get it back. But yeah, I totally feel your pain because I've experienced it myself multiple times as well. Stephen Thailand, late at night here, awesome. Yeah, for you that must be very late actually. So cool. Jason says, like, yeah, please have mercy on Pacific US guys. Yeah, my apologies for the time zone. Like, we have audiences all over the world, in Australia, in the US, in Europe, and that makes it hard. Like, every time I pick, basically it's a time where not everyone can actually make it, and that's where I end up going for a time where my wife doesn't kill me. In other words, not like late in the night or stuff like that, as you can imagine. So I think it's about the time to wrap up. If there's any final question that anyone wants to get answered, please do let me know right now. And again, I'm just going to wrap it up. Make sure that everyone knows what the deal is. So this is your final chance. Like, if you want to join right now during this webinar at connectio.io/protect, if you just go there, connectio.io/protect, you're going to get the 2-day live workshop next week, next Wednesday and Thursday. We're going to do that together. Protect your ad account workshop. You can ask questions. It's going to be interactive, everything. Then afterwards, my team and I, we're going to not just going to give you the replay, we're going to completely cut it up, edit it professionally, and we're going to give you access to the full course and masterclass as well. Plus, you're going to get all our protection checklists and SOPs, as well as all of our rescue checklists and SOPs as well. So in other words, everything we do to protect our ad accounts, as well as everything we do, like we have already to get our ad account back. For example, normally you just do an appeal, right? Did you know there's actually 6 ways to reach out to Facebook? Most people don't, and we actually have the exact ways of how to actually do that, right? And which one is most successful and which one isn't. Plus access to our private community, and you're going to get access to all of that for only $750 today. That's a one-time payment. There's no recurring fees, anything at all. So it's only $750 today, and that's it. That's done. And I actually want to let me just check the question. So the risk score, yes, it's actually like that's continuously the way he inside Facebook explained me. It's actually continuously explained. So like if there's something that you do like that triggers it, that increases the risk score, it goes up. If you don't, like for example, when one of the things that was a risk, which can be a risk in your account, is a team member that is flagged, right? So if you then remove him from your ad account, from your business manager, your risk score gets better, it reduces, right? So that's actually something that's continuously changing. So that's why it's so important to make sure to improve your reputation right before you do an appeal, for example, right before you try to get your ad account back. All right. So actually, I want to make it really clear for everyone. Let's just do it together, right? So if you go to connectio.io/protect, it's always good to do things together, right? So if you want to do it together, let me just open it up. If you go to connectio.io/protect, this is the page you'll actually see. Which is where you see a quick wrap up, like what it actually is, the blueprint to protect your Facebook ad account from ever becoming disabled, and helps win your appeal if it's already happened. And here's what some of the things we're actually going to cover, just as a couple of examples. For example, keep your ad account safe from Facebook's ban hammer, recover your account in the event it becomes disabled, making sure your ads are always compliant, even if someone writes them for you, probably warm up new ad accounts to avoid getting flagged, immediately increase your account reputation by improving hidden factors, which have nothing to do with your ads or landing page, contact Facebook 6 different ways, and appeal isn't your only option, and know the one thing to do after you win your account back to prevent losing it again just months later, right? So, and obviously you're also going to get access to the bite-sized recordings, like the professional edited recordings, all the checklists and SOPs, as well as a dedicated Facebook community. And right here on the left, all you need to do is like enter your name, email address. If you are in Europe, you can enter your VAT ID as well. If you have a business, credit card or PayPal, we accept both. Depending on where you are in Europe, we might charge VAT that's required by law. Otherwise, you just pay $750. If you are a business in Europe, just add your VAT ID. And then you click right here, complete purchase, and then you'll get a video with explaining more details about the event next week. And that's pretty much it. There's no upsell, no extra wizardry or anything at all. Just this is you see is what you get, fair and square. So this is how you create your account and how you can get started. And with that having said, I think it's time to wrap up today's presentation training. I hope you guys and girls learned a lot. Let me just check the questions, if there's any questions. Oops. Is this going to help if an ad account is completely disabled after 3 years? Yes. The ad account that I mentioned before, that one that I got banned like 7-8 months ago, I did all the appeals. I went through all the appeals, didn't have any shot, I believe. And using this, I actually got it back. Well, again, there's no guarantees, but I do know that after 3 times it's final, it's still not definitively final, right? But you do need to try hard, all right? Joel says, I've spent more than $100,000 on Facebook ads and my ad account was disabled more than 1 year ago and my page was deleted also permanently. Is there a way to get them back in your program? Would be keen to join if it's covered in your course, please? So over a year, I think that's the part where it definitely has become tricky. I would say it's possible, but like there's no way for me to know whether that's true, like whether that's possible. Like every situation is different. If I were to say like, yeah, sure, you can get it back, that would be BS, right? That would not be fair, because there's no way I know. All I know is what I've learned from experience and by talking to other entrepreneurs about what has helped, and by talking to someone inside Facebook about what impacts it. But still, Facebook is the final factor, right? Like I don't know any of the situation. Maybe they flagged you for something that they find unforgivable. There's zero, like there's no way I could tell for sure. I personally, I would like to try, I would either try to get it back or figure out a way to create a new ad account. But yeah, so that's my answer to that. Jesse, you're welcome. Carolyn, you're most welcome. Actually, you guys and girls, some people say thanks in the chat, which I appreciate, don't get me wrong, but I actually want to thank all of you, because I know some of you, it's like late at night or very early morning, or even if it's the middle of the day, like you're spending time with me here on the chat, and I just very much appreciate that. Let me just open up my webcam because I think it's just a bit more personal. Hey, I'm back. And I just wanted to say thanks everyone for being here with me, because I really do appreciate it. I mean, I'm not sure in the beginning, but at some point I saw more than 1,000 people being live with me here on this training, which you know, I do not take for granted. It's been almost an hour and 45 minutes, and I don't take that for granted. So thanks for that. I really do appreciate it. And for those who signed up, I'm looking forward to getting started next week, Wednesday and Thursday. So yeah, final chance. I don't think it's actually visible, so final chance. If you do want to get access right now, head over to connectio.io/protect, and you can get everything. You'll get the workshop, all edited, all the checklist SOPs, private community. Well, I don't need to relist it all. But I want to thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate it. Awesome. I'm glad that, like, at the very minimum, I hope you all learned something, and please take action. Don't just sit here and whatever you do, like, but don't sit here like, I hope my ad account doesn't get disabled. Like, take action. Like, ask yourself, what can you do to improve? Even if you're not joining the program, ask yourself, what can you do to look better from a Facebook's point of view, right? Because you don't want to lose your ad account, because Facebook ads is awesome. Like, there's so much potential. I hope you're already using it and leveraging it. If not, you totally should. It is like, you can literally explode your business with it, but it's not going to happen if you don't have your ad account enabled. So whatever you do, please take care of your ad account. Follow the rules and like think outside the box, like, or just join the masterclass. But if you don't, think outside the box of like, how can you actually improve your ad account from a Facebook's point of view, or even easier, join the program. But that's like, whatever you decide, it's fine. It's totally cool. Either way, I want to thank you all for being here. Again, I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to another call. Like, if I don't do these trainings that often, but looking forward to see you again. Hopefully you got value out of it. Hopefully, yeah, you got value out of it. I'm going to go back to the little one. I'm going to cuddle her. She's only 5 months old, and I love her. So I'm going to do that right now. Thanks again, everyone. See ya. Bye. Go join now. Would it help if I do a quick dance? Would you join if I do a dance? Probably not going to work. All right, now I'm making this fun of myself. Don't post this on Facebook. This is embarrassing. For those who are still here, still 240 people. All right, that's what happens if you are alone in Corona time, nowhere to go. You start talking to cameras, and anyway, thanks all for being here, and talk soon, everyone. Bye bye. Oops. I'll be joining the second time for the dance. Woo! That's funny. All right. Thanks, everyone. See you. Bye-bye.